Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Carmen here, bringing to you a topic I think that would be helpful for everyone to have an open conversation about. So I touched on this topic yesterday in a webinar that I did about how we need to simplify things and make things easier for ourselves. Hi, Christy. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. And that was a topic of, not having systems in place and not having things done so that we can run an efficient business and take care of ourselves at the same time. So what's happening across the health and wellness space, and it's the big elephant in the room, and it is one of the things that actually can affect how successful we are in our business, how our relationships are in our life, how we feel about ourselves, all of those things. And that is working ourselves to death, to the detriment of our health, by helping other people, right? So this is a common problem. It's not it's not really talked about very often, maybe in some closed circles in our health and wellness space. But I'm bringing it to light today because it's that important to me that we all take a look at what we're doing with our health and to ourselves and to our minds and our bodies while trying to lead the world in a healthier way. So hi, Dawn and Kim. Hi, guys. So let's talk about this. Let's have a little powwow about what's happening and what I've been seeing for many years and what I've been through myself and I've teetered on the edge of it many times over my years in this business. And that is how hard we're working, how much effort we're putting into, and how much time we're putting into helping others, not just our friends and family, but the world around us, our clients, the people we run into out in public, the people that we attend events at that know what we do. When we're out for dinner with people and instead of enjoying ourselves and having appetizers, a glass of wine and a nice meal, we get sucked into talking about health and wellness and how people can get better and how we can help fix them and all of those things. The ability that we have to know as much as we do and to filter out the overwhelming amount of information is a real gift. It's a gift, and we have to think about it that way, whether you're a naturopath, a massage therapist, a doctor, a health coach, whatever area in health and wellness that you're playing a role in, we have been given a gift. If you're denying that gift and you're not working, that's one thing. But if you have that gift and you're working and you're busy and you find yourself actually feeling worse and getting run down and fatigued and tired and overweight and your hormones are a mess and your relationships are falling apart, you don't have enough time for yourself, all of the negative things that come along with the amount of stress we put ourselves under when we're building businesses and we're scaling and we're getting clients and we're marketing and we're trying to have our families and run our homes and all of that. The number one thing that we tend to put to the side is the care for ourselves. So while we're out there caring for the world and the people that depend on us, we're forgetting about the most important person. And we've all heard the analogy, the oxygen mask. Put the oxygen mask on yourself so you can help someone else when you're on the plane, right? That's a great idea. Isn't it a great idea? And that would probably be what all of us would do if we were on an airplane. We've been told enough. If the plane starts to go down and the oxygen mask comes down, grab it, put it on yourselves, or you're not going to be any good to the small child next to you or the elderly person sitting over here. You won't be able to throw open that door to escape if you have not got your oxygen. All right, fine. But in the real world where we're living today, in our homes where we don't have anyone monitoring us, how often we stand up, how much water we drink, are we using our CBD cream? Have we done our massage on our back? Like all of those things. We have no one sitting there, standing at the front of our office airplane saying, all right, you guys, if you start to get tired, this oxygen mask is going to drop down. In other words, the water is going to show up, the cream for your sore joints, the rolling ball for your trigger point in your back from sitting too long is going to drop down in front of you. And I want you to take those things and put them to good use so you can help the other people. Unfortunately, that's not happening, right? Wouldn't that be nice? I would love if someone would pop up in front of my door because I got this big, beautiful window in front of my house and knock on the window and go, hey, I see you in there. You haven't stood up for 2 hours. When are you going to stand up? I'd be like, oh my God, yeah, okay, I'm going to stand up and do some squats or I'm going to do some push-ups or do something to get the blood flowing, right? So the reality is that most of us are working in an environment by ourselves. We're entrepreneurs, we're working from home, or we're working behind an office, or we're seeing patients all day long and then we're sitting behind a computer. But there is no one there to tell us to practice that self-care. And so what's happening is we're getting adrenal issues, right? Adrenal fatigue, the old fatigue word. Our thyroid is slowing down. our middles are gaining weight from cortisol. Maybe we're losing sleep because we're thinking about that launch we have tomorrow that we're not ready for. Maybe we're feeling guilty because we haven't spent enough time with our families, our children. And this is where I keep myself in check, so bear with me here. But I picked up my kid from school. I pick him up from school almost every single day. And when I was in the middle of doing some structuring and taking calls, I was on the phone almost every single day that my kid got in the car. And he'd get in the car and he'd go, "You're on the phone?" And I'm like, I'm like this. And then one day I got in the car and he goes, "Why aren't you on the phone?" And I'm like, "Because you said I was on the phone. You brought it to my attention." So my kid was actually my flight attendant of life. And that oxygen mask dropped down in front of me in the form of my child saying, "Why aren't you on the phone?" Which made me feel bad, right? Hi, guys. Hi, I see Sherry and Lisa and Paula. Hi there. Good afternoon. And so in the game of life here, you guys, when we don't have those constant reminders and those people dropping down in front of us or the flight attendant saying in front of us to tell us what we need to do to take care of ourselves, I want to encourage you to try really, really hard to find somebody that you can be accountable to do those things. Whether it's another health coach, whether you're a naturopathic doctor and you've got somebody that runs and does all your stuff for you, that sets an alarm and says, right now is the time to do 10 squats and a couple of push-ups and drink some water or sit in silence or whatever. We have got to start finding a way to make sure that we are putting ourselves on the map of self-care. Because if we don't, we already know what happens. We end up exhausted. We're not productive. We can't show up in our business. We can't show up in our personal lives. If we do show up for our business, our confidence starts to wax and wane because we're putting on weight, we're exhausted, we're not taking care of ourselves, which makes us feel like a fraud or whatever. I think, that imposter syndrome is very real. I think a lot of us have dealt with that before, where we're over here telling people how to take care of themselves, and then over here we're exhausted and we're not doing it ourselves. So let's put a stop to all of that, okay? Let's put a stop to all of the feelings of guilt and shame and imposter feelings and feeling guilty about what our kids, when our kids don't see us enough or not spending enough time in nurturing our marriage and our relationship. And let's remember this, that when we step back from the busyness of our lives, okay, and believe me, I get busy, trust me, I get busy. When we step back from the busy and we look around us, and this is what I did last night. My parents came over for pizza last night, and my son, and I just stopped. I answered one message and I said, that's it. I just got to have some time. And we look at the world around us. We think, who's going to be here for us when we're not working? Who's going to be here for us if our business falls apart? Who is important to us? What matters to us the most? When we can get that perspective and we can remember that the things and the people that we love and the things in our lives are more important than the actual killing of ourselves with work, it puts everything in perspective, and we return back to our desks or back to our patients and clients in a way that feels good to us because we've honored ourselves and we're showing up to them the way that we're asking them to show up for their own lives. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up here because I need a few minutes so I can grab my carrots and my hummus and get in the car and go get my kid and his friend for a Friday afternoon at our house. But I just want to remind you, the oxygen mask comes in many forms. And that is the things that we need to practice that self-care. Maybe it isn't dropping down from the ceiling, but it's all around us. It's on our desk. It's in our kitchen. It's in our bedrooms. It's in our bathrooms. It's all of those things that we need to feel healthy and whole and feel like a person. And it's really the things that we're asking other people to do for themselves. So the flight attendant that's standing up front, that's waving at you and telling you oxygen mask, escape hatch, all of that. Find your flight attendant, okay? And even if that flight attendant is a note that you put on a whiteboard or something that you hang up or an alarm that you set on your phone that says, hi, I'm your flight attendant. I'm telling you right now, stand up, walk around, go outside, get some sun, close your eyes, get some water, have some lunch, whatever it may be. That's your flight attendant. And then your oxygen mask are all of those things that you do to give yourself that self-care. So I love analogies and I use them a lot. And that one just spoke to me today. And an announcement that I'm going to make too is that I'm actually going to Italy. I've been blessed enough blessed beyond words to be able to take the opportunity to go to Italy in October on a self-care retreat and trip. We're going to Tuscany. We're going to be staying in a private villa. And I have to say this to you guys. It was really hard for me to make that leap, to push buy on that ticket for that airplane ticket. Because I was the person, and I used to be much worse this way, that would analyze something to death, right? when I sat there and I said yes to the opportunity, and then I didn't, and then I thought, oh my God, the minute I said yes to the opportunity, I went like this. Oh my gosh, I have to work. I have things to do. I'm in the middle of growth. I'm doing all of these things. Who's going to take care of my animals? What if my old dog dies while I'm gone? Who's going to watch my kid? All of those things went through my head. And I actually was aware enough to stop and say, when's the last time you did anything for yourself that did not involve work? When's the last time you went on a trip or took care of yourself and went on vacation that did not involve work? I can't remember. My son and I went to Yosemite last August, but I worked while he was on fishing trips, and I got work done in between the things that we did together because I was a newly single mother. This time around, of course, I'm going to go and do a few things, but it's surrounded by self-care. And what I ended up doing was saying, you know what, this is an opportunity and something that you can not afford to not take. After the year that I've had, I'm going to take this trip and I'm going to enjoy every second. I'm going to come back renewed and hopefully, you know, be a person that really can appreciate the feeling of being present in my own life. So let's start that process at home. Let's start that process in our business, in our lives right now. And let's look to the flight attendant. Let's create our flight attendant, our phone alarm, our knock on the head, our whiteboard that tells us these are the times you're getting up to take a break. And then let's use the oxygen mask, the water, the CBD oil, the trigger point roller ball, the good food in the fridge, and let's start taking better care of ourselves. We're no good for anyone else if we're not good to ourselves first. Okay? Thank you, Paula. Thank you so much. Let me look at the questions real quick and see. Yes, Debbie says, I love analogies as well. Hi, Samantha. Helps to give you a mental picture to hold on to. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the way I am. And too, I really like to put things in perspective like that. And my son gives me a hard time sometimes. He goes, Mom, just tell me. Like, don't make it into a story. I'm like, oh, okay, I won't. Or I'll just tell you the answer to that. So I'm guilty of using the analogies probably a little too much. So anyway, let's see, what did you say? My husband said, I wonder if she's going to April M. Lee's retreat in Tuscany. No, I'm not. I'm going to Stacey Robbins' retreat in Tuscany, which she is from Italy. And there's no one in the world I'd rather go to Italy with than Stacey Robbins. She feels like a soul sister to me, a kindred spirit, a beautiful, amazing human being that I just have this connection with right off the bat. I just admire her so much. She's in my course. She's part of my course. She is the Hashimoto's, Girl's Guide to Hashimoto's. She's one of the most real and authentic human beings I've ever met in my life. If you haven't checked her out, you have to. She does amazing things for the world. And if you dealt with anything with your thyroid, she's your person. She is somebody that stood up at Mindshare and told a story that had me in tears my very first year, many years ago. And ever since then, I've had a deep and unrelenting respect for her. So I'm going to enjoy the crap out of it, and I can't wait. All right, yes, I'm going to go, girl. You got it. October 11th, we leave. I come back on the 20th. I'm actually even taking extra days when I get home to acclimate and spend with my child because I'll be gone. So anyway, all right, you guys, have a great day. Have a great rest of the day. Have an amazing weekend. Don't forget that it's not going to kill you to take 10 minutes to yourself. People will wait for you. They'll be there when you come back. So will that project, that content, and everything else you feel like is an emergency. The only thing that's an emergency is an emergency. Everything else can wait. All right? Okay. And I also, by the way, and I almost forgot to say this, launching the mastermind. Second mastermind session starts on October 2nd. We're already off to the races. And people are out there doing it. You guys are already out there doing it. If you don't believe me, I've got a testimonial from Dr. Judy Seeger. I think she's a doctor. She's a cancer specialist. Anyway, she took my training the other day and wrote a testimonial within an hour of taking the training about how to get going and get your business off the ground with groups and classes and intake forms and one-on-ones and all that good stuff. We are doing it, whether you're a doctor, a practitioner, health coach. I have a system that can pretty much save you about 80% of your time in your business. So reach out to me, carmenhunterhealth@gmail.com. If you're interested in learning more about that, October 2nd, 4 spots open. All right. Have a great rest of the day. See you guys later.